And we are live. Welcome back to Pistons Jack Fan Reacts, where we've got a game full of stuff to go through. We've got my man D, who I'll bring up in just a moment. But for anyone else that wants to join, shoot me a DM now, and I will shoot you a link to come up and talk about an eventful game in Minnesota tonight. As you can see across the bottom there, the Pistons lose to the Timberwolves 104-123. I think the biggest story out of tonight, though, is the huge. It's probably the closest thing you'll get to a fight in the NBA these days, where 5 players were ejected, 2 coaches, and it kind of spilled over into the fans on the baseline. But yeah, quick analysis of the game from me before we kick it to D. Um, Honestly, it was similar to the Cavs game in the first quarter. The Pistons came out. Tobias was a late scratch after initially being named as a starter. So no Tobias, no Cade again. But the Pistons came out very similar to how they did against the Cavs. They got up by 10 points. I think it was a very similar score to the Cavs score in terms of being up by 10 at quarter time. Asar and Jalen Duren were awesome in the first quarter again. Um, Things were looking really good. Dennis Schroeder, although he was missing some of his shots, he was still getting into the paint. He was drawing a heap of fouls. He had 11 assists tonight. But I can't remember exactly when the altercation broke out, but I want to say it was around the 8 or 7 minute mark of the second quarter. And what I'll say on that is I don't think anyone saw it, or people probably have, but just before the initial text Stu gets, Dante DiVincenzo is yelling out on repeat. I can't swear at this point of the show, but he's yelling out F no, F no, F no on repeat as Stu takes a floater and Stu misses it. So I'm just watching Stu because I'm like, I know Stu and I know something's gonna happen here. But Dante, he wanted something from Stu. He was trying to get in his head. So Stu comes down. I want to say someone fouls Dante, and Dante's on the ground under the basket. Stu goes to grab the ball off him and kind of half push Dante. Then they get into it. Stu gets a tech on that play. I'm pretty sure Stu points at Rudy Gobert, but nothing really happens. And then it's the next possession down on the T-Wolves ends when Naz Reid starts having a sook about, I think, Holland stripping the ball off someone. He's pointing in Ron's face. Then, of course, Dante comes back over, who's been instigating stuff for the past few minutes. And he just starts pushing. He's the one who initially pushes and kind of puts his elbow into Ron's face. And then all hell breaks loose. Stu comes over, loses his mind. Even Marcus Sasser got ejected. It was crazy. I loved it. It did cost them the game though. I think we're lying to ourselves if we think that didn't cost the Pistons the game. JB got thrown out. You lose Stu. You lose Sasser, who is incredibly important with Cade out. And you lose Ron as well. So the T-Wolves, Dante DiVincenzo was playing well, but, they still kept their 3 best players in Gobert, Edwards, and someone's escaping my mind. But anyway, from that moment on, the Pistons still held a lead at halftime, but inevitably Ant scored 20 in the third quarter and didn't really look back. But look, I mean, to be honest, I don't really care about the result. The Pistons beat the Cavs 2 days ago with pretty much 3 of their starting lineup missing. And, that was enough for me to get that win. I truly didn't expect a win tonight. I was hopeful. They looked awesome, but, at the end of the day, they're I'm all for the altercations and that, but I think it's fair to say that's what lost the Pistons the game. And I just hope my only concern from that is that that sort of stuff, I love it, right, as a fan. But I must admit, it's that stuff that scares the hell out of me against the Pacers. And right now, the Pistons are matched up with the Pacers, so I'm hopeful that this is who this team is. I love it. I think it's just I want to say each time like something to this magnitude has happened, I feel like the Pistons tend to lose the game. And a lot of it is because they lose a couple of players. But I just want to see them be able to do this and still win because at the end of the day, that's what we want. But I'm not going to sit here and get on any players because I love the physicality. I love Stu walking off the court holding his jersey. I think Ron might have been. I don't know if Ron was crying, but he looked extremely emotional. We all love it, but I just would like to see them be able to play, like have these big moments and maybe win the game. But you know what? They're still missing Kate Tobias. So, yeah, they end up losing by nearly 20 points. But you know, I'm not too bothered by the result. But that's enough from me. I'm going to bring up D now, and once we've chatted to D, we'll go through some comments, and we'll bring up any other guests if anyone else wants to come on. D, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's good? I'm gonna try
Bro, how
really
we
hard
feeling?
not. I'm gonna try really hard not to get you demonetized in the first 5 minutes. Oh
You're good,
my
man.
goodness, I'm salty. I'm so mad.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
so mad. So
I
I
think
I
yeah,
again doing the school run. So I missed the first quarter and a little bit of the second quarter. So I didn't actually see the fight. Um, and I didn't quite catch what you were saying before. My understanding is that Ron tried to strip the ball from Naz Reid, right? And then words were
yeah.
exchanged, and then Harlem pushed Dante, and then like a fight spilled into the stands. Yeah.
Pretty much, Dante pushed Ron first, but
Okay.
you know, like at the end of the day, they were both going to start shoving anyway. But Dante did push him first,
Yeah.
but it was going that direction anyway.
See, my concern is that I I mean this is what the Pistons are known for, right? Like the physicality and like we got that reputation. My concern is that other teams count on that and it starts becoming part of the game plan because
Yeah,
to lose Ron Holland and Stewart and Sasser and our head coach,
yeah,
well, we've already got some players out. Yeah, I just with people, especially Holland and especially Stu. My concern is people know that they can go them and get them going, and that they're
yeah.
gonna react. That they can get that reaction from them every time.
Yeah. No, I'm
So
with you, and that's why, like I was saying, like I love Ron and Stu and what they stand for and how they represent the city of
yeah,
Detroit. Like
yeah,
they're a perfect
yeah,
match. And I know, but it's just like I do. That's why I'm a bit worried about the Pacers in particular because they seem to get under the skin of the Pistons, the entire team, but particularly Stu. And I could see it happening to Ron, but yeah, I'm with you on that because it's like I could actually see in a playoff series coaches just being like, just as soon as Stewart and Ron check in,
yeah,
do
yeah,
something to
yeah.
instigate
Just
it because we'll
taunt
get
them.
tech free
Yep,
throws, we'll get
yep,
momentum and all that. So yeah.
yep. Just taunt them, and they'll bite.
Mm,
So yeah, that was hey, the second half of the second quarter that I did see was still nice. But the second half of the game was,
yeah.
yeah, not gonna swear. So uh,
You're good.
yeah, that was painful to watch. And then just the refs and the calls or lack of calls, um,
Mm,
preferential kind of calls to the other team, um, and then the commentary. Oh my goodness! Towards the end of the game, the commentary was doing my head in.
did
I,
you have the Pistons feed or did you have the T-Wolves?
so I was going off of the NBA app.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
gotcha.
So I actually I don't even know who it probably Timberwolves, but they their commentary was doing my head in. At one point, they were talking about Beasley, and they're like, "Yeah, well, we've shut him up. That's the best part of the game." I just, yeah, it
That's
was,
definitely the T-Wolves.
yeah, doing my head in. So, um,
Well,
anyway, what can you do?
no, man, like it was the second half was brutal, and you felt like it's pretty much I think the Pistons led by 6 at halftime, and almost immediately the Wolves were up by 1. And as soon as it got to double digits, you kind of felt like it was just going to be too much for them to overcome, particularly when they're already without Tobias and Cade. Then you lose those 3 guys you mentioned, especially just on the road, because then the crowd got into it. Ant's like celebrating, Julius Randle's flexing. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like they're flexing on like Lindy Waters and the Pistons third stringers, but you know what? It was an emotional game, but it was just going to be always hard to overcome that momentum and that kind of thing. But I will say though, like I know you missed like much of the first half, but they started really well, and up until that kind of fight, and I mean they were solid towards the end of the second as well, but that was a positive the first half. To see them without those guys still come out against the Wolves, who have actually been pretty good recently, and like they were up by
Yeah.
like 10, maybe even 14 at one point. So they
Yeah.
did well. Obviously, it ended bad. The second half was brutal, but yeah, some
Yeah.
positives.
And we're moving, obviously. We've
Yeah,
moved.
and the
Which,
and the Bucks lost as well. Just for anyone checking the standings, so we're
uh,
we're still
okay.
fifth comfortably.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, yeah, very, very painful game to watch. And it kind of annoys me as well, because when we do, at least this is my experience as a Pistons fan in Australia, when we do win, people are so quick to say, "Oh, it's a lucky win," and the other team lost because of this and because of this and because of this. But when we lose, if you say, "Well, hey, like we had players out, and then we had all these players ejected," people are like, "Oh, like, yeah, okay, go on with your excuses." You know, it's
Yeah.
so yeah,
There's already accounts like tweeting out and like
I
posting
bet,
stuff that like Stu started the fight, and the
yeah,
Pistons are all like they're dirty, they're this, they're that. And you know what? To be honest, I don't mind it, because they don't start saying this stuff if we're not winning games. So
right,
they do say it a little bit when we suck, but people more have like pity on us. But now people are angry and they hate us because our team, I know they lost tonight, but they don't take, I think we can swear now. They don't take shit from the other teams, and they
yeah,
actually win games now. So,
yeah,
like, all that extra stuff it is annoying. It annoys me, but I also think it comes from that's just what happens when you start winning games and you play a certain way. But it is
yeah,
I get what you're saying. It's annoying. Like, it annoys me.
yeah, really frustrating. So anyway, my son will come home cheesing. He'll be happy that to rub it in that little bit more. Uh,
Oh man, he'll have a massive smile on his face. Yeah,
yeah,
cheesing.
bro.
Oh man.
Uh,
Yeah, look, sorry, you go.
no, no, no. I'm just really, really angry about this, because I still feel like we could have rallied together the
Yeah.
way that the Timberwolves did as well. Like we could have pulled ourselves together. I feel like they maybe got in our heads a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with Beasley. I feel like he couldn't get it in the bucket, this game to save his life, which is really unusual. And then the more pressure that there was on, it was like just the worse the shots seemed to be getting. Ugh, yeah,
No, like it was Bees was good in the first half. But yeah, in the second half, they kind of figured out a way to slow him down. Um,
yep,
Look, I'm with you. I think they maybe could have. I felt like they missed a heap of putbacks and like a heap
yep,
of easy shots around the rim, which was frustrating me a bit. Yeah, I wish they probably could have, like Jalen Duren. I don't want to get on him too much, but he was awesome in the first half. But he just picked up. He got into foul trouble in both the third and the fourth when they really needed him, because
yeah,
Gobert, Gobert kind of was already beating Duren, but then when JD was out, the Pistons were just far too small with Paul Reed at the center. They just needed JD for more minutes in the second half. He got into foul trouble. And then Bees kind of struggled a little bit in the second half, like you said. But they were undermanned. I don't want to like say they had no shot of winning this, but they could have done a bit better there when the Wolves had the momentum. But yeah, it was always gonna be an uphill battle.
Yeah. I always enjoy it though when some of the players that don't usually get as many minutes on the court kind of use their time to show us what they can do, and this could have been an opportunity. Um, but anyway, it is what it is. What you gonna do? We're still here. We're not going nowhere.
We very much still are here. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing. Before, like, I'm serious. Before that fight, our Pistons were going to win this game. I'm
yeah,
very, very confident of it. The way they were playing. Funnily enough, the Pistons were in Minnesota's head. I felt like with their physicality to start the
yeah,
game, and that's partly why Dante started talking all that shit because like they were frustrated. The Wolves were trying to get themselves into the game because they're coming out here and they're like, well, the Pistons don't have their absolute superstar. They're missing Tobias. They're missing Ivy. Like, we should come out here. Like, T-Wolves think they're going to just walk in and beat the Pistons, but they came out,
yeah,
our boys, and fighted. And, like, but yeah, they just lost too many players, lost their head
yeah,
coach as well. I don't even
yeah.
know. I'm sure someone can tell me in the comments. What did JB do? Like, was it? I'm assuming he maybe just said some stuff to the ref because I didn't see him doing anything, but I probably missed it.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen the like the highlights of it spilling
Yeah.
into the stand and stuff. I honestly didn't even see Coach there. I don't think, but yeah, the way that these refs are with the Pistons, the wind could have blown and they ejected the coach.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
they, yeah.
No, the
Anyway,
refs, I must admit, like, I think the free throws look pretty even, but in fact, the Pistons actually shot more, but some of the contact was pretty questionable. Like, it felt like our guys were getting hacked a lot more on their way to the hoop than not getting fouls, and the T-Wolves are doing a lot less and getting more. But yeah, I guess free throws were kind of even, but yeah, the refs, I reckon that's a night where they would have been stressed out of their heads,
yeah,
sorting out all those ejections and stuff.
yeah.
But yeah. Any other
Hey,
thoughts, my man?
no, no, no other thoughts. Just yeah, wait till the next game. And
Well, they've got 2 days break now before they play the Thunder, which for you and I will be on Thursday, Wednesday night for the people in the US. So I feel like they're getting Cade back for that game. I guess I'll ask you this. Do you think from what we've seen, do you think any of the Pistons players get suspended?
nah, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
I
so.
I don't
Because
think they
no, I don't think so. I feel like maybe if we had instigated it, like but from what I'm hearing, it's regardless of what social media is maybe running with narrative wise, it sounds like we were um, clearly antagonized a bit. So I don't think so.
yeah.
Yeah,
I hope not. I hope not. The only reason I would be a little bit nervous is just because it ended up in the crowd, and, like, I don't know if the NBA, like, take it way more serious because it was in the crowd. Like, if it's just on the court, I don't think anyone gets suspended. I hope no one gets suspended, but that's the only reason I'd be a little bit nervous, but I'm with
yeah.
you.
Look, after the game, I caught some of the Timberwolves head coach, you know, talking to the press, and I feel like if that was on the cards, maybe he'd be pushing for it, like would have said something. There
Yeah.
was no mention of anything like
Okay.
that. Yeah, uh,
Let's
yeah,
hope not.
no, but we'll be fine. Yeah,
Well, I think they're gonna come out OKC in OKC on Thursday or Wednesday is gonna be that's gonna be a huge game. I hope Cade's
it's
back
gonna
for that.
matter. Yeah,
He's gonna
yeah,
if he's back for that, he's gonna have had like 10 days, maybe even 2 weeks of rest. So he should be good to go. hopefully no suspensions, and that game's on ESPN as well. So big game.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to meeting with you again.
Yes, sir.
Under happier, you know, once
Right,
we've
we'll be
won.
back. We'll be
Yeah.
back talking about a win.
All right.
All right, my guy. Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate you.
No problem. Appreciate you too. Deuces.
All right, man. We'll talk soon. Catch up.
Bye.
All right. Thank you to D, the absolute legend, for jumping on. Uh, guys, I'm going to go through some comments now. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on in and sharing your thoughts. I'll go through those, but if anyone else wants to jump on, we normally go for like an hour, but if anyone wants to jump on, we can go for another 20 minutes or so. But let's go through some comments here. So Yazen, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Apologies if not. Holland and Stu reportedly left the Target Center, went to the airport, booked commercial flights, and are currently back at the Pistons practice facility to get a workout in. I just wanted to address this because this was from one of those fake accounts that tweeted this out. So that's not true, but thank you for chucking that in the chat, Yazen. And I think I told you in the comments, but yeah, just want people to know that that tweet is fake. But thank you for the comment, Yazen. Appreciate you. YouTube user, what's going on, my friend? I'm not sure what Nas was so mad about. I assume it's just because Ron's like a rookie and he snatched the ball off him or something. So he's just trying to do that old, like you see vets do this all the time where they like point and are like, it's meant to be like a sportsmanship thing, but it's kind of like just it's not that deep. But that's all that was. I think that's all he was mad about. So that's my understanding. Devin, what a game, man. It was a crazy game. Crazy game. In a way, like because they lost, I'm kind of glad they lost the way they did. Because in that third quarter and early fourth, when it was close, like I was right into that game. And if there had been a close finish, I don't know how my emotions would have been, at least like once it got out of reach, I had a chance to calm down. But yeah, love it, Devin. Love it, my man. Thank you for the comments. Detroit basketball forever. We got like, yeah, they lost, but I mean, we did just absolutely beat down on the Cavs. Like, apart from Donovan Mitchell going crazy for like 5 minutes, like we absolutely destroyed the Cavs with missing the players we know we missed. And tonight, like I was just saying, I the way they were playing up until that fight and even up until halftime, like I was feeling good about this team. So shame that the players got ejected. Stuff happens. I don't really care. I just hope that kind of stuff doesn't happen in the playoffs. That's all I'll say. I think it doesn't bother me in the regular season because I think that's this team's character. This is JB said it, like they're gonna stand up for one another, defend each other, especially when they know like the other teams like antagonizing them. I just hope that doesn't happen in the playoffs because I'd hate for us to be in control of a game like they were and then lose so many players and it just becomes too hard for them to win and we lose a playoff game. That's all. Regular season, I'm not too fast. So hopefully this isn't something we see in the playoffs, but nonetheless, I'm not mad at all. Nate, sorry ass Wolves knew they couldn't beat us straight up, so they crashed out instead. Well, honestly, I think we beat them by like 20 points. Cade had 40 not too long ago when we were actually healthy. So let them have their win. Yeah, no, they're going to be in the play-in in the West, so they can do that. Pistons next. Ant didn't celebrate or do anything on the court productive until after our depleted team got more depleted. Soft. Yeah. He was awfully quiet. I think he had 1 point up until like the last few minutes of the second quarter. So, look, when you win, you can do what you want. But yeah, being quiet as a church mouse when you got nothing going and your team's getting beat down without half their starting lineup to then start doing shimmies and stuff in the second half is yeah. I actually like Ant as a player, even though like I don't care too much, but it's a soft move, just doing that stuff. But whatever, we move. Moses just need to win one game to clinch top 6, I believe. I think. Let me check. Keith Black Trudeau on Twitter's been all over this. Shout out to Keith. So I thought last time they still needed 2 wins to clinch. It doesn't look like there's an update. So my understanding was after the Cavs game, they still needed 2 more wins to clinch top 6. So maybe that's changed because the Bucks lost again, but I doubt it has. But 2 more wins. 2 more wins. Thank you, Moses. Short and Holland don't deserve the hate. No, they don't. But they're going to get the hate from all the other fan bases. But that's okay. That's okay. Like, Stu, everyone outside Detroit's going to hate on Stu. But if they had him on their team, they'd love him. He's just one of those players. So, yeah, let people. I do find it funny when, I understand Pistons fans who get frustrated when Stu or Holland or any player gets ejected or it does something to hurt the team because it directly hurts their team and we lose the game. So I get why Pistons fans get mad. I don't get, like, people just post stuff just to like farm engagement with Stu. Like, because if I'm a neutral NBA fan, I love the physicality. I love the fights. I love the drama. Who doesn't? Like, is there really people that are gonna sit down and like be like, I don't like this? Like, it's just a bit of push and shove. Like, honestly, like, I don't understand people who sit there and be like, it's bad for the league, get him out of the NBA, he's a thug. It's like, you're the same person who probably sits there and wants the league to be more physical, wants the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, and wants hand checking and thinks everyone's soft. Like, people just say stuff to say stuff. So, honestly, I did reply to one Stu thing down on Twitter because this stupid account was trying to say he instigated the fight. I normally just ignore it because people just do it for engagement, and I don't want to give them any engagement. But yeah, I'm with you. They don't deserve the hate, but they're going to get it. So, especially with the more games we win, that's just how it's going to go. So, we're just going to support our guys, be positive. Don't stoop to the lows of other fan bases, and like, yeah, just uplift our guys. I think that's what we do as Pistons fans. So that's my take on it. But I think they are going to get hate, unfortunately. But appreciate you, Hip Hopper Lewis. I hope I said that right. I'm not the best at the English language, pronouncing things. Pistons next. Holland getting jumped by 2 vets looking for confrontation the whole time. Yeah. I must admit, Dante and Nas look, I'm biased as hell. They look pretty stupid, though, in those very plays to start that. But yeah. Yeah, Ron's a man. He's 19, but he can stand up for himself. So, you know, it's a man's league, the NBA. They're all men. So I'm not too worried about Ron being, not that you're saying this Pistons next, but I saw some other stuff. I'm not too worried about Ron being 19 and 2 old guys getting a fight. Like, you're all men in the NBA. So what else we got in here? That trade guy. What's up, Jack? What's going on, my guy? Tough game tonight, but proud of this team. Proud of this team. Pistons next. Difference is that the Pistons in the start, they held their composure well enough, which is why Dante and Naz escalated it. Unless we expect for Indiana to start doing the same things. Yeah, no, Pistons definitely didn't start it. But I think where it starts is Dante's talking trash. Dante's talking trash. From what I could hear and see, he didn't say anything that crossed the line. So I think I felt like Stu was going to do something just based off the way Dante was yelling at him. So I think, like I said, I don't, they, how can I say? I think the Wolves started it, but the Pistons reacted and retaliated. So I love it. Like I said, I love the physicality, but we can't also say like that. And you're not saying this Pistons next, but we can't act like Ron and Stu in particular weren't going to get ejected. They were always going to get ejected, especially because Stu picked up a tech just before. So yes, they didn't start it, but when you engage in it, you're probably going to get ejected, especially when it spills into the crowd. So, but yeah, look, if Dante and Nas didn't get ejected, then we'd have a lot to talk about. But I think everyone who should have got ejected did, although I'm still not sure about Sasa, I thought he was more defending himself. So we moved though. We moved. Drunken Sailor 645. What is good? Who would you like to see us pick up in the off season? I'll be honest, I'm firmly in the camp of bring everyone back. Like, bring everyone back. I don't know if they can do that financially, but bring Beasley back. I actually think bring Schroeder back. I think Schroeder might be the hard one to bring back. Like, I just can't, don't like. I'm not sure what his market would be. Maybe Schroeder is just like a minimum guy now or the mid level. So maybe it's going to be hard to keep him, Beasley, and THJ. But I'm going to be honest. I got eyes for any other players. The Devin Booker thing, I entertained it a little bit after the trade deadline, but the way I've seen this team mesh gel since they got a real backup point guard, and that's no shade to Marcus Sassa. I just think he's not a point guard, and the team desperately needed one. The way I've seen them gel chemistry, like I was saying in our group chat today, I was like, this defense, like this is just before the fight, but I was like, this defense is seriously scary. Like it's making me believe that we are not just a fun first round team that might win a series. Like I'm really starting to believe like we can beat the Pacers, we can beat the Knicks. And I know a lot of people think that. And I'll be honest, as like I'm excited. I've been excited for those series, but up until I've like seeing the way they played without Cade has just made me realize like, oh wow, we are not just a fun young team. We are young and fun, but like the way they play defense, still maintaining a top 2 defense in the NBA in 2025 in like 44 games, a massive sample size. That's something that wins you playoff games. I know the half court offense might struggle because things slow down. They can't get out in transition as much, but watching Asar Thompson roam and just, cause nightmares for the opposing team. Watching Jalen Duran improve, and then you have Stu come in. You have big physical bodies. Schroeder is the backup point guard. Tim Hardaway Jr. I know why fans get on him because he's inconsistent, but he's had 2 really good games in a row. I think at least in terms of his shot making, and if he's not hitting shots, he got to the free throw line 8 times tonight. So I think his spacing is invaluable. I just think I've a bit of a long answer, but I don't even know who I want in the off season. I don't really. It's going to depend on who they can't keep and then what you go and do. Because I will say, I think they might struggle to keep all 3 of Schroeder, Beasley, and THJ, just because I think Beasley is the one you want to keep the most, but it might be tough to keep all 3. I have to look at the cap situation. So I know I haven't really fully answered your question, Dragon Tail, but I genuinely just would love to run it back, honestly, because the chemistry and everything they've built on defense, the culture, I'd be scared to mess with that, especially because this team's still so young. Like, I'm not sure I want to just get rid of everyone before. Like, I want to see Jaden Ivey with this team. I really do. Like, so yeah, I'm all about bringing as many of players back as you can. Lawrence the King, I just want them to keep their head up. I agree, and I think they will. They will for sure. JB's press conference is pretty quick, but it was pretty good. I think there's no issues about them keeping their heads up and keeping confident. But appreciate you, Lawrence. Uh, Aaron S. This game should illustrate why small ball won't work. Asar is effective at power forward in certain situations, but not all. T-Wolves dominated us in the paint. Yeah, good point, Aaron. This is why I think people are skeptical of Asar at the 4 long term, because he just doesn't have the size. Like, he's an awesome rebounder when he's coming from the wings and he's a guard or forward, but when he's like in that front court, he's just he's just not physically big enough. But I think he's done a fine job at the 4 in parts, like you said. But yeah, the other thing, when you have a Asar at the 4, you can't put him on Ant. Like, they had to put him on Julius Randle. I know Ant didn't play well in the first half, and Bees did a fine job, but Ant got going in the 3rd, and the Pistons just couldn't put Asar on him because they needed Asar on Julius Randle because of the size mismatch. So that also kind of, it didn't hurt the Pistons against the Cavs, but a lot of the time, I think Asar was on like Evan Mobley. So like it didn't hurt them there, but I did feel tonight Yeah, so gives up a little bit rebounding when he's at the 4. When he's at the 3, he's amazing rebounder. So yeah, I'm with you. They are a bit small with him at the 4, but I'm still not ready to say it doesn't work long term. I think you can, like you said here, Aaron, in certain situations he can be effective, but yeah, against a team like the T-Wolves who have Rudy Gobert, Randall, they're just a lot of size in there and physicality. Um, yeah, that's where Tobias. I don't know if Tobias slows down Randall, but he gives you a bit more size, bit more of a rebounding presence in terms of boxing out and that kind of thing. But yeah, good point from you, Aaron. What else we got in here? Devin, we're definitely beating OKC. Man, OKC are really, really good. Well, if we get Cade back, I see no reason why we can't beat them. We're going to come in fired up. If we get Cade back and there's not severe suspensions, we're beating them. I am a little bit nervous for my guy Stu. A little bit nervous about him getting a 1-game suspension, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I love the positivity, Devin. Yeah, this Pistons next. Asar was getting his ass beat every drive, and the rest played the Bird Box challenge. Yeah, no, Asar. Yeah, his whistle's not great. I'll say that. I'm with you. I agree that trade guy. We would have won if Sasser and JB weren't ejected. Yep. Honestly, if none of those, if the ejections don't happen, we would have won. D, yes, bring everyone back. Yeah, I'm with you, D. I'm with you, man. Obviously, I love this, Aaron. Sure, it's exactly what the Pistons need, and exactly what this soy ass modern NBA needs. Exactly right. People will never admit it, but Isaiah Stewart is good for the NBA. You know, even if you don't like his game, like I don't know, like he's good for the NBA. He's like he's my favorite player, obviously, so I'm biased as hell. But if I like, he would annoy me if he like half fouled my. If I went for a different team, it would annoy me if he did something to a player like just a hard foul or gone the shove measure. Like, of course, it would annoy me. But if he's not doing it to your team, I don't understand why people act like he's bad for the NBA and kick him out. It's like this stuff's great for the NBA. It's drama. People don't want to admit it either, but this is entertainment. Like, I think people just want to drive engagement, and you know what? Good on them. Good on them. But I can tell you those Twitter accounts that do that make no money. So they can keep doing that. What else we got here? That trade guy. If I could have one player on this team, it would be Dyson Daniels. Man, Dyson, fellow Aussie, he would be tough. He would be tough. No, shooting scared me a little bit with Dyson. He's being consistent, but him on defense. Man, he would fit right in. He would fit right in. I feel like Atlanta, though, are never going to let him go because they won that trade big time. What else we got in here? D, I just want to see the Pistons whoop the Grizzlies' asses. We're fifth, they're fifth. Is that because your son's a Grizzlies fan, D? uh, yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr., Pistons next would be a nice option. But as you said here, I reckon the Grizzlies would probably value him now more than Ja. I don't even think that's a crazy take. Most people probably already been saying that. He's been incredible. Guys, I think that's gonna do it, to be honest. I know I'm feeling a lot better now. I think Campbell here, great comment from you, Campbell. Very proud of the effort tonight. Everything was against us. It was everything was against them, and they couldn't hit a shot, save their life in that fourth. They were severely undermanned. They were still trying though. I never once saw them like drop their heads or give up. Like genuinely did not see that. I have seen that sometimes in the past. Tonight I did not see that at all. Obviously they lose by nearly 20, but they tried their hardest for the most part. You know, even if they made mistakes that cost them, they all still really tried. So great comment from you, Campbell. Couldn't agree more. But shout out to my guy D for jumping on the stream. Shout out to all of you in the comments, Devon, that trade guy, Pistons next, Campbell, Aaron S. Who else we got? Devon, Sean. I miss Sean. Oh, we're gonna get Sean's comment. On the plus side, Dennis Jenkins averaged 2.5 points per minute. Shout out to Dennis Jenkins. D mentioned it. Some guys at the end of the bench got some run at the end. Dennis, got 2 buckets. So shout out to him. Thought Bobby was going to get a bucket there for a second, but he kicked it out. His first bucket's coming, but I appreciate you, Sean, and everyone else in the comments. You're all legends. So that's going to do it for today's stream, guys. Tough loss, but please remain confident, remain calm. We're going to come back. ESPN against OKC, 2 days rest. We're going to get Cade back, and we're going to be in for a really, really good game. So we'll see you after that OKC game. But until then, as always, go Pistons.